As someone who lives so close to the border in Texas, when I go cross the border, there ain't nothing like you. My Americanism is just beaming out of every pore with everything I say and everything I do. And I see that with the New Yorkers.
I do feel that way a little bit because my sister's a polar opposite. She's dressing in Puerto Rican flags and she's going to every parade, even non-Puerto Ricans, just bringing up representing the flag wherever she
Mm-hmm.
can. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was born in Manhattan and then I was exposed to all the viruses in Manhattan and it just mixes. It makes you tough.
And I think in Puerto Rico, on the beach, whatever, people say, hey, buena gente. They're not tough because they don't have to be tough because the culture is a peaceful and celebratory one. In New York, you better toughen up. And that's the culture you were born and raised in.
You were born in Texas?
Correct.
Is it a clash? Because I know you lived here for a bunch of years in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, that first, I guess, culture clash?
I think what I recognized right away was that Texas, I think a lot of the other parts of the United States are like that, have a little bit of a slower pace. And so I remember when I was tired or when I was annoyed, my Tex-Mex accent would come out. And I'd say things like, "Ay, this class is taking so long." And people would look at me because I didn't always talk like that. But when I was just relaxed, like the actual me came out.
How do you get an award for stripping?
The thing about burlesque is that the more creative the act is, it's like a comedian will be on stage for 45 minutes doing their bit, but a burlesque performer performs to anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes to a song, and they striptease. So striptease is the skill, but what you add to the striptease, in my case, I played Napoleon Bonaparte, and I did his whole professional and political history in the 3.5 minutes to a song with him, invading Austria and then the whole Russia thing. And I did it as a striptease. And so that's what I have blow up dolls, like Austria was a blow up doll and Russia was a blow up doll. It was really fun. Burlesque is comedy. Burlesque, the original word for burlesque is burla, which means like a joke or
started stand up. They started with the burlesque.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you ask me what motivates me, I would just say that it's I learned to enjoy the process.
You are not about the destination, not at all. You are all about the journey.
The final question, how did you end up on Jerry Springer?
It was a challenge. I did drag. So they're like, you're new, go do Jerry Springer. And it happened so fast. I almost didn't have a chance to say, but I don't live like this. This is just because I was doing that one show that you happened to see. And the next thing I know, I'm on Jerry Springer. And because I knew it was television, it was good. And I'm an actor. I went to acting school and I was like, I know how to do this. And I lived for 3 days as a woman, completely from head to toe. And I learned that in order to be believable, I needed to soften my thoughts and soften my voice. And I did all these things to just become a woman.
Been in the LGBT, she can pass. That's the litmus test. Like guys will be like, yeah, I would do that. And then do that, I mean do that.
It was very hard. It was hard to convince women. Women know. No matter how good you look, women always know. But the men, damn, it was so easy to fool them. They just don't look closely enough, I suppose. But women right away, they always looked at me kind of like I know what you're doing.
You got this wonderful TV credit. I would introduce you now from Jerry Springer to the stage.
You could. And that's something in my stand-up comedy I haven't really talked about or capitalized on as far as marketing goes.
My TV credits are the BBC. It didn't go well.
Actual BBC.
The real BBC.
I used to have a joke where I was like, I just got off the BBC and I haven't been to London in years.
I know. They're both the same though.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, on that note, let's start the show.
Sherry Chesson was a married mother of 4 and star of Romper Room. children's TV show in Phoenix, where she was known as Miss Sherry.
We have our 4 children to consider. I think we're doing
Sherry and Bob, not wanting to bring a child with a congenital disorder into their family, opted for an abortion, which at the time was only available in rare cases.
In all the soul searching I have done, I sincerely feel that I would not be giving life to anything. I feel that I would be giving a kind of living death.
Soon, Chesson's painful story was in the pages of Life magazine, and the nation began to ponder the deeper complexities of abortion and a woman's choice.
We can't go back to willow sticks and knitting needles and all the things that women have perforated their uteruses with.
60 years on and 3 weeks shy of 90, Sherry Chesson is a bit fragile, but focused and fierce about what has been lost.
It's going to be the fight of the next decade or two. Voting and women's rights. That's not going to go away. That conversation will continue.
They keep trying to take things away instead of bring us further into the present. They keep taking us back into the past. So,
Tanya, I have a quick question. On the day that they announced the reversal of Roe v. Wade, how did that make you feel?
I was upset because I had to have one because I was raped. And it just, what if they had, what if they had taken my right away? And it just, it's heartbreaking, really.
First of all, Tanya, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have friends that, being raped, and it's affects the rest of your life. And my friends are still suffering. It happened, and it's so long ago, but he's still suffering. So yeah, I'm so sorry. I think one thing about America is I love this country. That's why I chose to be American citizen, to stay this country. But one thing is that America is so right or wrong.
You look at history, and it's a pendulum, right? We go from being somewhat conservative to being very liberal. The marker for me as an American who is gay is Berlin in the 1910s and the 20s and the 30s, up until the rise of Adolf Hitler as a chancellor in 1933, I think. Berlin was a gay mecca. They actually had a whole institute devoted, or part of it was devoted to what they called at the time the third sex. And it was almost like the way we are today with understanding what gay means, what queer means, bisexuality, all that stuff. And when Hitler came into power, it all went away. And then we went to war. And then we got conservative with, the 1950s. And then the sexual revolution came in, a whole generation of people who maybe didn't know the history of Europe in that way. So when I saw the reversal of Roe v. Wade, I thought, wow, there goes that pendulum again.
I don't think that women are fucked. I think the United States is fucked. I think because right now we are a divided country, and I'm a very independent person. So I like to look at whatever issue it is. I want to see what both sides are talking about and what people are talking about. I like discussion. I like learning things. When I say an opinion, I want it to come from me, not like some agenda, whatever the liberals are saying, whatever the conservatives are saying, right? Because people are pushing agendas at this point. And so when I look at, because when this whole Roe v. Wade, when it was announced, there were people who were celebrating, right? So I want to see, okay, well, what is their mindset? What were they thinking about? And it was a religious aspect, like, oh, the babies are saved now, and this is what they were coming from. So I think like that just proves right now that this country, there's two different mindsets. And I like to think of it now as like, I don't want to lose the ability where, because I have friends who are on both sides, but I want to have healthy discussions with them and just learn. And there's some middle ground we can come into though. And I think that middle ground is really, it's slim at this point. And that's what I fear right now.
I've been out of politics for many years because I've already seen this happen before. I'm from Yugoslavia. And whatever happened in my country, it's very similar to what's happening here. So, I don't want to go through this twice. You know what I say? Smart people learn on their own mistakes. Stupid people learn on somebody else's mistakes, and idiots never learn. I might be stupid, but I'm not an idiot. So I'm trying to stay away. I'm originally from Bosnia, and Bosnia was very easy to separate because it's half Christian, half Muslim. And over here, I guess it's very separate people because half are pro-Republican, half are pro-Democrats. It's very similar to what happened in my country. Inflation, even the symbols they're using are the same they used in the 90s. It's scary. So I'm trying to, I don't watch TV, I don't have cable. Every once in a while there will be some politicians, I'm getting news like without my consent. And I'm just pissed that in so many years they haven't fixed the issue. You said what, 1962? It's been 60 years. Why are those politicians still making their paychecks? Like, I'm in production. If I don't make a product, I don't get a paycheck. Why are they working on this for 60 years and they're making their paychecks? It's so common sense, but I guess people just don't, I don't know. I guess they have too much power.
Just let me ask, are you in America right now?
Yes, Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Oh, that was the place for this story, wasn't it? Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't follow.
Yeah. The clip that we saw, Arizona was the story.
Yeah, I guess.
What would you like to see happen?
I would like to see somebody elected as a president who's under 50. Not these guys need to retire.
I don't experience this in Asia a lot, like this women power and all those stuff. Like, our culture is just we treat women equally already, so they don't have to fight for it. You don't see Chinese group up and say feminist. There's no such thing here. It don't happen. It's only in America, the most stupid first world country on earth. Like, what are you guys doing? Seriously? Yeah, you guys are the only country on earth that have flat earthers organization, dude, man. If you happen here in China, then you're a genocide, man. You're the last race on earth. You're gonna leave. Done, man. We don't find all this, like another thing, like school shooting. Like, we don't shoot our kids here. We train our kids to shoot you guys, man. Like, that's Afghanistan. Come on, that's Afghanistan, Asia. Right, just some jokes here, but I won't comment on it so much because I don't really experience them here so much. Women over here don't really fight for feminists because it's just they have rights already. They don't
have the right to, if they choose to not carry a baby till the full term.
Yeah, we abortion are here quite common. Like Thailand, if I can have abortion, I will have to. Yeah.
As Serene said, America is the most stupid first world country. Like, I think it's the most divided country, that I can say, because you always have people arguing what's like, even on proven facts, like flat earth. People still believe in flat earth. That's how privileged America is. That's how privileged America is. In India, nobody talks about flat earth. Is it curved? Is it flat? We just agree. We just have our own shit to deal with. We don't want to waste our time discussing flat earth or curved earth. As far as I'm concerned, I think the earth is a donut. The earth is a donut. Why make it illegal? Like, you make things illegal, that's when it becomes more in demand. You ban drugs, people consume drugs more. You ban alcohol, you get alcohol. That's what happens. You ban abortion, you get more abortions. Why are you creating more demand? Why are you creating more demand? That's my question.
Cancel Cop put is banning abortion only hurts the poor. If I got enough money, the girl on Romper Room, she went to Sweden. Abortions aren't going to stop. It just makes life difficult from the economic point of view, which I didn't include. I was going to send the clip. Is it people that are forced to carry a baby to full term are unhappy? The kids are unhappy. Country or states that do force you to do that, the economy suffers. And there did like specific numbers. Happiness means I'm spending money. If I have to be forced to breastfeed my baby, I don't know. That's not going to be a happy baby.
No, I can never breastfeed my baby. It's fine.
I try.
Never lose sight of the fact that we need to see that female representation on the world stage in all areas. We need to hear the other side of this so that in the future we don't have more men, a male-dominant culture, deciding what's right for you, when in fact you guys know what's right for you.
If you don't have a vagina, you don't have a vote.
So I can't vote, right?
I'm going to talk about women's body. You have to be a woman. That should just be.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here's a better idea. Just spend some time wearing women's clothes for a whole day. And then make comments on women's bodies or what they have their rights to do with their body.
I highly recommend it.
Once they squirt something the size of a football out of something the size of a lemon, then they got to vote.
There's that old joke: if men had to get pregnant, there'd be no unwanted children.
There'd be, if the woman had to have one and the man had to have the other.
In India, there's this thing. So when there were a lot of rapes going on, in response to when a minister was asked in response to rape crimes, how are you planning to reduce rape crimes? He said to girls, and I quote, "This happened for real." He said to all the girls, "Don't get raped." That's the advice. That's a piece of advice. Rape crimes go down by a margin. Wow. So I'm going to give the same advice again. So I'm going to give the same advice to all of them. All of the ladies who are getting pregnant who want abortions. Just don't get pregnant. Pregnancy ban.
I'm gonna
cancel all pregnancy.
Oh, cancel.
That's a cancelable offense.
Let's cancel cop right now.
Yeah.
Those days long, it take 4,000 years back when medical are not advanced yet. We don't have. So most of us are natural births. You have to pull the baby out from the vagina. Right, most of the birth rate of our human species was only 55% at that time, right? So half of the population the baby will die at birth. Sometimes the mother even died because of overbleeding, So these things are just natural because of the advance of the medical, all these hospitals are coming out. So now birth rate is like what, 99.9%. Like it's so high, and now our Earth is having overpopulation problem. India, China, thank you, cancer cop. You're fucking too much, man.
That in Texas, only all the white women should have sex with just Puerto Ricans. That their mothers will say, "You had sex with a Puerto Rican, we have to fix abortion. More abortion.
As a half Puerto Rican, I agree with Henry's statement. So,
at least twice a week, he makes important connections for his viewers between local weather and the global climate emergency.
I do what any good newsman like yourself would do. I look for a hook.
Unfortunately, the hooks are easier and easier to find. Record heat waves and historic flooding. Droughts, wildfires, and tropical storms all becoming more numerous and gaining strength. Plenty of grist for the mill.
Well, the world's on fire right now. We got a lot of problems. We are trying to save the world. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing by educating people on climate change.
Times sure have changed.
Good evening on a dry and delightful kind of night.
This was the weatherman I grew up with in Detroit.
Combination of cloudy and chilly kind of weather is what it is.
But that was then.
Meteorologists are in a key place. We're scientists, we're a trusted messenger of information in local markets, and we're good communicators. And we have a platform. You put all that together, and there seems to be no one better than a local meteorologist to tell the story of climate change.
So I've said this most recently. Al Gore's legacy is the fact that he continued the climate change conversation on a larger platform. So I would never say that all of his work came to nothing. Never. Because it has to start somewhere. In Texas, we had that freeze last year that was like all of a sudden it was the North Pole here. That was crazy. We were in it. There were people died. People didn't have heat or water for like weeks. That was just apocalyptic stuff.
The Midwest is flooded. Where I was born in Kentucky, Whitesburg, Kentucky, it's flooded. Everything. I have relatives that are finally checking in, saying that they're okay, but their houses are gone. Everything is gone. Granite City, Illinois, where I grew up, it's all flooded there too. Throughout St. Louis, Missouri.
In my lifetime, to be able to say my house is here now, and it's gone within an hour, that's news. That's since I was this tall, it was just your house can outlive a climate. This is something that happened recently that is just getting more extreme.
It's like the first time they had that much rain in hundreds of years.
Growing up in Japan, like since I was a little kid, like Japan was always freaking out about this. We already talking about like we have to do more, otherwise, this is gonna happen. So I've been told that, and then when I moved here 20 years ago, America was nobody seems to care. So I was like, oh, when I was in Japan, when I was like a little, when I was 10, I think, when I learned that like in Japan, recycle 45% of everything. But back then, America recycled only 10%. And then Siemens, I thought Siemens is getting better last few years because more recycling is more the thing. But I just found out that America doesn't really do recycle. They collect all the recycles, but they don't really recycle.
Yeah.
So
it goes to the landfill, I think.
Yeah.
Over here, they'll take this, but not that. They'll, there's a list of things that they'll take, and then they want you to have a list of things that they won't take.
You would listen to your weather person. They get the weather wrong 50% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that actually, Henry. I was about to say I don't think I could trust the weatherman because they get it wrong so many times.
Yeah,
these should be the people who should be telling me about climate change.
Right, I carry an umbrella. I got my umbrella and it's not raining.
Right, exactly.
That's the only job that you can have 50% of the time be wrong and still keep your job and make more money than.
Whenever you see transportation being constructed or redeveloped in a city, that is an answer to the climate change.
Drive less, save lives.
The main problem here is there's too many people on the earth. It's like, just look at the Christian point of view. Like the whole Christian philosophy on sex is let's have sex to procreate, right? To have babies.
Right.
Until somebody said, no, we can just have sex for fun. And people are like, wow, that's a great idea. How come I didn't think of that? But the Christian point of view is, let's create babies so we can fill up the world, right? But they didn't know back then that the world is limited, right? It's just one big bowl. And I got news for Christians. We did. We filled up the world. Let's not create too many babies anymore, It's simple.
Let's ban sex, right? That's
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, that's not real, because you don't have to ban my sex. I won't get pregnant.
Well, if I can jump in on that, if
I can't have any more, so
if I'm not having sex, no one else should. That's.
And if you're having sex, have kinky sex.
Enjoy it. It's not banned to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh.
Except people don't like it when you do that in public.
So, from my perspective, a sapiosexual is anyone who is physically or emotionally attracted to someone else's intellectual qualities, to someone else's brain. Now, many people consider this kind of more of a layer of nuance in sexuality and don't consider it necessarily an orientation on its own. I don't think I necessarily agree with that because I think there are some people who really are very, very strongly oriented that way, and it is their primary way of sorting through their own sexuality. So So for our purposes, we're going to simply define it as someone who is attracted to a quality, an intellectual quality, or generally smart people. That's probably our best way of looking at it. So how do you come out as sapiosexual? I guess it's like any coming out. It's going to be on your terms with whom you want, when you want. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Coming out should always be on our own terms. The thing about misunderstood orientations, particularly something like sapiosexuality that many people never have heard of, you're going to have to be doing some education when you come out. So make sure that you have done your own education first, that you understand what it is that this is all about, particularly what it's all about for you, so you can help people understand you.
My thing is where I identify as a sapiosexual is you put me in a room with a political strategist or a political consultant or anyone with even an associate in political science, I am so turned on. I could hear them talk about how Buchanan was the worst president and why, and how the, Bush versus Gore at the ninth hour. I'm hearing them, but it's just like, take me now. Like, just ravish me with your politicalness.
I don't really get sexual aroused by someone's brain, but it opens the door. It starts the waterworks a little bit. The things are moving in the right direction. It's a collection of things. Like I'll need a little sapiosexual, a little bit of this, a little spice over here, and then it just put it all together in that blender of sexual appetite.
I'm attracted to smart guys. Comedians are intelligent because you come up with everything from the news. You do all your research. Yeah, that's a turn on. Somebody make me laugh during sex. Yeah.
Wait a second. During sex? There's no laughing. No laughing.
I didn't fit in any category, and I still don't. But do guys find smart girls attractive?
I would think so.
Yeah, I think it depends. Yeah, because there are guys who are sapiosexual. I think that's the term, right? Yeah, they do they like the brain more than obviously the looks is like you have to just to even talk to somebody, like obviously that matters a little bit, but like
a little bit
keep them right. The brain's what's gonna keep them attracted more and more and more. I would say I'm fun sexual. I don't think that's a word yet, though, but fun sexual. And that means
say that word again. F-U-N.
Fun sexual. I want to be able to have fun with the person I'm with, right? Having fun, but also fun in the bedroom too. So like fun sexual.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Kevin, you're the Kevin, you're the Al Gore. Kevin, you're the Al Gore of fun sexuality.
Yes, I'm gonna start moving fun sexual. So
Tanya, meet Kevin.
Sex and it's going so good, and then you fall off the bed.
Exactly.
That's when you know it's going good.
But for me, it's like I don't really need like a super brainiac person, right? What I really want is like somebody who we have like the same type of like fun energy where we can just like we could be like doing something so boring like going to the DMV, but we're like laughing and like making jokes whenever we're
What if she's fun, but she's an office manager who's smarter than you? What do you do?
You're really trying to set it up, aren't you?
No, I'm just asking a question. Someone who's smart. I'm very what's the word? If someone's smarter than me, I'm attracted, but also at the same time I'm kind of intimidated. Like, oh,
yeah.
Whoa, put that away.
Yeah. Put that away.
Sorry.
I recently dated someone who wasn't as bright. You put that together with another trait, which is they were not self-aware. You can be dumb and self-aware, and that's attractive because you're at least aware of your limitations. So I just feel like if you're going to be like myself, I'm very honest about my limitations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart 1 hour a day. Rest is iffy, back and forth.
First of all, sapiosexual, you're attracted to someone's brain. Isn't that crazy? How would you insert it? Like, it just creeps me out when somebody just gets sexually attracted to someone's brain. That's gross. I took it too literally and I made it weird for everyone as well. Personally, I'd like to have a partner who, basically someone who's from my home Twitter. Twitter is my sponsor. So basically someone who's on Twitter who comments hashtag cancel this, cancel that. Yeah, I'm attracted to that person. I'm cancel sexual.
There's a spectrum to being smart, right? Because there is being too smart and being arrogant, which I don't really want to have someone who's like so smart where they're kind of like, you know, they're in a whole different world of mine. So, but I think you do have to be, but you should always be learning and constantly wanting to grow. So I kind of like that kind of smart person where it's like you're constantly wanting to learn, constantly wanting to grow, constantly wanting to have conversations, but also, like I said before, I'm fun sexual, so I like someone who wants to be fun. Answer Comp, are you seeing somebody right now or no? Or are you single?
Himself.
I'm currently seeing my gun.
God doesn't name himself.
Is that a sex toy?
But no, I've like, yeah.
This has shot more than I have. Just saying.
But that's the only thing that is bangable.
This is the only thing that's banging.
Depends what you define as smart. There's people who are just smart, and there's people who are smart and successful, right? If you're just smart, but you're getting nowhere with your life, then, you know, it's just a temporary attraction. But if you're smart and successful, you know, that's a good combination, you know, whether you're a guy or a girl.
But is money sexual? Not
it's money.
Hey, it's capitalism.
Steve Jobs said it best when he created the iPhone. People don't know what they want until I give it to them.
Wow, yeah. Gun drop.
Gun drop.
And then we have that